Hi friends, I Robinson. Welcome to our YouTube channel Start Science Robinson. Let's get to the topic. Pleura. So today we are going to see about pleura. Pleura is a serous membrane which is lined by mesothelium, and each lung is enclosed and protected by double layer serous membrane. It is called as a pleural membrane. The outer layer, which is called as a parietal layer, and which is lined the wall of the thoracic cavity, and the inner layer, it is called as Visceral pleura, which covers the lung. A small space is present in between the parietal pleura and visceral pleura, which is called as a pleural cavity. Now we are seeing in our diagram this particular part where I am drawing, it is being attached to the lungs. This green in color in our diagram, this is called as a visceral pleura, that is the inner layer of the pleura. So the visceral pleura covers the surface and features of the lung except the hilum area, and it continues to the outer layer, that is parietal pleura. It is also known as pulmonary pleura. Now we are seeing in our diagram in red color, this particular part, it is called as a parietal pleura. It is thicker than the visceral pleura, and it is continuous with the visceral pleura around the edges of hilum, and it is divided into four parts. The costal pleura of parietal pleura, which lines the thoracic wall, which comprises ribs and intercostal space. The diaphragmatic pleura, it lines the superior aspect of the diaphragm and covers the base of the lungs, and mediastinal pleura covers medially near the hilum of the lung, and cervical pleura, it covers the apex of the lung, and it is covered by the suprapleural membrane, that is the upper portion of our lungs. Now we are seeing in our diagram, this is right lung and this is left lung. We are seeing in our diagram the bordering of the blue color, which is thoracic wall. Now I am showing you this particular portion, it is a ribs, and now I am showing you about the thoracic wall in our thoracic cavity. Right now we are seeing in our diagram, and I am showing you right now that is the pleural cavity. The pleural cavity, it is the space between the two layers of pleura that is been separated by the thin serous fluid. In between of two layers there is a pleural cavity. The outer layer, it is called as a parietal pleura, and now we are seeing in our diagram this particular part, it is called as a parietal pleura, and now we are seeing in our diagram this is visceral pleura. The serous fluid secreted by the epithelial cells of the membrane. The fluid does not permit the two membranes to stick together and reduce friction between the membrane. This is cardiac notch where heart is present. Now we are seeing about the diaphragm below the lungs. This is the space where the fluid filled of cirrhosis, that is pleural cavity or intrapleural sac. Altogether, the pleura, visceral and parietal pleura, it is called as a pleural sac. The inner layer, which is being covered all over the lung and into the fissures, but except the hilum, and from there continuously it will connect to the outer layer, that is parietal layer. Thank you friends for watching. It's Star Science Robinson.